Tanzanian food, very similar. They eat, so like chapatis in Kenya, they eat mostly in for like dinner and for lunch, but in Tanzania they almost exclusively just eat it for breakfast, which is kind of weird. And then they eat a lot of rice. That's more of their staple, almost equal to ugali. They also cook their ugali a lot softer, so it's not quite as hard. They make fun of or tease the Kenyans for eating their hard or rock ugali. Tanzanians also put a bit more spice in their food, which is nice, especially in Dar es Salaam because it's right on the coast and it has a lot of that Arabian influence or that Arab influence. Also, especially in Dar es Salaam, there's a lot of Muslims and Islamic influence, which also you get more of the flatbreads and other things, which I enjoyed. I like Tanzanian food more. In other parts of Tanzania, like up in Arusha, it's very green and they have a lot of bananas and other things, so you'll eat those. Usually this only happens if the family that you're like eating with or whatever is from Uganda, but you can eat a thing called matoke, which is kind of like mashed potatoes, but bananas or plantains instead of the potatoes. And it tastes very similar, or cooked bananas, which sometimes I like them. Like, again, the food isn't like, at first it might be a little bland and a little bit unusual, but it's not something that the flavor just kicks you in the mouth and you're like, I can't stand this. Although there are parts of animals that you've never thought were edible that you will eat. So like hearts, chicken hearts, and livers are pretty typical, which aren't that unique. But sometimes they'll eat like the kidneys or the lungs, which is kind of difficult to stomach. Just texturally, the taste isn't too bad. When you eat fish, they eat the entire fish, head included. So I never really liked the eyes, so I never ate them. That's like they are not offended because there's Tanzanians and Kenyans that don't like the eyes, but you'll eat like the cheeks and everything else. I like fish, so it wasn't much of an issue. But then in Tanzania, especially along the coast, they will feed you omena, which are like little minnows, but they're like dried and salted. And that was probably the one food that I never really got to like. I ate them a bunch because that's like where I started my mission, but it never became something I enjoyed or ever like even could, yeah, force myself to enjoy. So it's just you're eating these little minnows basically that are like full-bodied. They're not good. They usually have like, you see them sold in the stores and they're like flies all over them. So the whole time I'm eating, I'm just like, I'm eating these rotten little fish. But, you know, whatever. They're not that bad. I just think I didn't like them. Probably more of a mental thing than anything else. But everything else, the food's pretty typical. If you want to go to, well, I guess I should just say this. You don't ever hear of like going to a Kenyan restaurant or a Tanzanian restaurant anywhere because the food simply isn't that good, but it's not terrible. It's not going to like make you gag or anything. It's just not very flavorful.